Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webcast, in which we'll be providing an overview of ServiceTeam ITSM. My name is Derek Renton. I'll be moderating today's webcast, presenting a demonstration of ServiceTeam's capabilities with Yashka Raman. Before we get started, a couple of housekeeping items. If you have any questions, please submit them through the chat window, and we'll either address them on the fly via chat or verbally towards the end of our session. Secondly, this webinar is being recorded, so if there's others from your organization that are interested in seeing us, please reach out to us for a link. With that, we'll get started. So a quick introduction on Provence. As a company, we've been in business since 1997, so going into our 29th year. We have a robust history as an industry solutions provider working with Microsoft to build solutions on platforms that are native and tested with Microsoft technology. Currently, with our newest generation of ITSM and ITAM products built in Power Apps, we're leveraging Power Platform, Azure, AI, and other Microsoft technologies, which are all integral to the exploding Microsoft Power Platform opportunity. Our team has vast experience in ITSM and ITAM software on Microsoft platforms, combining both architecture and solution design expertise with ITIL v3 and v4 expertise. We've worked with hundreds of customers and hundreds of thousands of end users across all industries, which gives us global implementation experience and services expertise to implement and support ITSM and ITAM and ensure technical risk reduction. Through our experience with ITSM and ITAM, we've identified that service management in general has changed, and the promises of the past aren't matching people's reality. Our customers see the benefit of taking a platform-first approach to ITSM, where they're getting cost, performance, and value. In other words, getting the value they need from a solution without overpaying for functionality that they don't need. From a technology perspective, they're looking for resource and skill set optimization across all workloads. Reduce risk and technology bloat. They want to use tools that are already in place. And since upskilling existing staff is often underfunded or deprioritized, they want to use tools that the resources are familiar with. This resource and skill set optimization also spans across all workloads, as ITSM processes and principles extend out to other departments like human resources and facilities, providing the benefits of extending ITSM principles and processes out to other areas of the business without having to knit it all together and build and maintain complex integrations. ServiceTeam is an enterprise application built on the Power Platform. It's hosted in your Azure tenant in a Microsoft data center, just like the Microsoft Enterprise apps for service, sales, marketing, finance, and so on. Speed, collaboration, and automation are all key in today's connected, instantaneous world. With codeless configuration aspects of the platform, this means changes can be accommodated quickly and easily. Components of the platform like Power Automate deliver rich capabilities to increase efficiencies, and Power BI provides business intelligence level reporting, so you can make fact-based decisions faster with access to live and actionable data and no data warehouse to maintain. For employees, you support ServiceTeam and the Power Platform optimize how they can work across Office 365, Teams, and Outlook to communicate and collaborate seamlessly with the support team. Our solution is ITIL aligned to all standard ITSM processes like service requests, incident management, problem and change, IT asset management. So these best practices are all baked right into ServiceTeam. ServiceTeam also includes the framework for service catalog, SLAs, knowledge articles, surveys, etc., so that IT services are delivered consistently and in a high quality manner that meet your customers' expectations. With the Provence Services platform, data comes together within the CMDB, exposing opportunities to easily combine this data with other operational data for reporting and valuable insight. It also extends ITSM to other data sources to support other related processes and reporting. There's out-of-the-box connectors to Azure Active Directory, Entra ID, for creating and maintaining internal contacts in service management. Azure Intune and SCCM, which enable you to discover and create configuration items for ITSM and ITAM. Azure Monitor, SCOM, and SolarWinds, which allow network device definitions to create configuration items and infrastructure assets for both IT asset management and IT service management, as well as adding operations manager alerts to ITSM events so that tickets can be created automatically from events. Finally, Azure DevOps and Jira DevOps integration, which allows developers to create, track, and provide updates of work items related to IT service management tickets. So that concludes our introduction and sets the stage for Ash's demo. So Ash, over to you.
All right, thanks, Derek. Again, hello, everybody. Thanks for joining today's webinar. My name is Ash. I'm a solution specialist here at Provence, and I'll be doing the demonstration today. Let me share my screen so that I can get started here. Okay, so today we will see three different personas, starting with the management side, which is the Power BI reporting. And then we'll see how the end user will interact through self-service portal and creating ticket or submit any service request. And finally, we'll see how the service desk agents will process the tickets. Now, starting with the management reporting, here we have the Power BI reports, which is when we say Power BI report, it's not just one report, it has multiple reports on that. And the first one that you're looking at now is the service desk workload. So, for example, Bruce is an IT manager. Bruce comes in day to day life. What's important for Bruce is coming in here and see how many tickets are there, maybe awaiting for assignment, and nobody is working on that, or maybe how many of them are fulfilled, giving notification to the stakeholders or the end users, open tickets by different departments or accounts. So Bruce can see how many tickets came in from maybe department like marketing, or maybe from human resources, or open tickets by different owners. So who is owning those tickets? That's really important to see that the load is on the service desk, or it is a business applications team, or if it could be some individuals who is working on those tickets actively. Then also open tickets by different categories, subcategory for reporting purpose for sure, and different priorities based on urgency and impact. Now, also from the Power BI reports, we can see the tickets overview, for example. So, like I said, Bruce can come in and Bruce can see things like a pattern there, what's happening, the spike in January, February, different months overview, the closed tickets, tickets canceled by end users, or the overall performance there, including how many hot accounts or department got affected, or VIP contacts, all those information from this one view, which is the tickets overview. Then if we talk about the other report, which is the service level objective performance, this is exactly shows how we're doing in terms of the entire service day. So for example, maybe we are missing more than 50% here with my demo data, but you can get an idea of how much you're missing in terms of maintaining your overall service desk and all the tickets. Then we have individual reporting like incident, service request, problem, even change management. And I just want to focus on one of the reports from here, and you can always configure the reports based on your business needs. So this particular report is knowledge management dashboard, which pretty much shows really good information for a knowledge manager, especially. So if I am the knowledge manager, what's important for me is looking into the most viewed articles. For example, I can see maybe this particular article has the most viewed, people are viewing that article or had some stars on that, and I can also see the least viewed articles, meaning I need to update those based on the situation. So if I just scroll down here, I can see that the least viewed articles, and maybe I can just update those articles with some other step-by-step resolution, or maybe some pictures, screenshot to help better our audience, which is the end user in this case. Then we do also have the percent of articles by audience type. For example, we can see how many of them for general audience or technical or support, top articles attached to different cases, and we can also see how many of them under 5-star rating or under review or proposed. All those information are just in one view, which is for the knowledge managers, and this is the knowledge management dashboard. Now, before I move to ticketing management, just a couple of things here. This Power BI reports is really important because it sits right into the Dataverse, it's lifetime data, and you can configure this based on whatever information you want to see based on your business needs. Now, without further ado, let's talk about ticketing management, and then we'll come back to the service desk agent dashboards later on. Now, when we talk about ticketing management, the first thing that comes to our mind is, of course, the self-service portal to submit through different type of tickets. But we do also have another option, which is email to ticket creation. And I'm just going to talk about it real quick. So it's as simple as submitting an email. Your subject line becomes the title of the ticket, and the body of the email becomes the description. And we do also have something called Outlook add-in that you're looking at on the right side of the screen, where you can actually write the title, the description, select the urgency, service, all those information. And this can be configurable as well. You can just change something if you have to based on your business, and that could be your format for that Outlook add-in. And finally, it will go through a cloud flow and finally create the ticket. So basically, you will have one or multiple support email address to support that feature for Outlook ticket creation, or we can say email to ticket creation. Now, in this webinar today, of course, we're going to highly focus on the self-service portal. So let's have a look at the self-service portal. Under here, let's say Emily is our end user, and in this case, Emily just signed in, probably using Azure AD or single sign-on. Emily can see all the announcements. If there is any advisory, outage, or news, she can just follow them up right from the homepage here. Um, Quick links like creating a ticket or looking into my tickets history or request offerings, all of them are available right through the homepage. On the right side, we can also see that Emily can access my recent request offerings. So this could be just those request offerings that has been submitted very frequently by Emily. Now, if I go to suggested resources, I can see a couple of documentation, videos, or FAQs. I can see some frequently asked questions there that is exposed for the end user. Now we can look into the resources tab and let's see what we have there. So under resources, when we think of resources, the first thing that comes to our mind is of course the knowledge base components. And it's really important from an ITSM perspective or ITIL perspective, how you're managing your knowledge and how you're controlling them based on different departments and all that. So in this case, we have role-based access control, which is RBAC. So Emily can only access those knowledge base components that are just available for her. So under general FAQs, we can see some of the FAQs, or under how to videos, we can see some videos that helps the end user to go through some different features or some issues they're having. Or, of course, we have the knowledge base articles. They can access them anytime based on their role and permissions, all those knowledge base components. Now, the similar concept of role-based access control goes for the service catalog or the request offerings here as well. So basically what happens on the left side, we see different request areas having different request offerings. So for example, if Emily is part of IT, probably she can access Azure services, this request area, which consists of requests like a new virtual machine, or maybe a blob storage, or maybe a feature request, all that. If she's part of maybe HR, she can access things like maybe new hire onboarding request, or maybe offboarding an employee. Or if it's for everybody, things like facilities management that we can think of, maybe a building access request or a parking access request. So everybody can access that facilities management. Now, based on that particular department that the person belongs to at the account, we can control this like role-based access control, that who is going to see what, because we don't want the IT team to look over resources or service catalogs that are available for maybe HR and vice versa. Now, as we're in the portal, let's start by looking into the basic form, how an end user will interact with the ticket or creating the ticket, and how the basic ticketing form looks like. So in terms of incident, this is the basic form, how it looks like. In this case for Emily, let's say Emily is having some issues regarding email today. And while typing, we can see probably it's regarding Outlook is not responding. So while typing, we can see based on the keywords, it's suggesting the relevant knowledge base components on the right side. And this is really important because that's the ticket deflection. and it's going to reduce the number of tickets submitted by end users for the service desk agents to process. And when you have ticket deflection, in this case, Emily can go through those different knowledge base components and get some help from there. And probably she doesn't have to create the ticket necessarily. So we can also see the total views of that particular article or ratings or when it got last updated. So based on all those different information, probably Emily is thinking this is a better article than the other one. She can go through it, get some help from there, and if it's really helpful, she can rate it, put some comments in there. Now, let's just say this is not going to help Emily, so she can just submit the ticket and it will finally create the incident, the request for the service desk agent to process. Now, let's have a look at the other type of ticket, which is technically we call the service request from the portal. So if you go back to the service catalog again, let's have a look at one of the example, which could be as simple as maybe doing an onboarding scenario. And I'll just go over the basics here. So how it works. So in terms of service request, there are two major elements to it. One of them is the question set that you're looking at now. And based on all those answers, and we do have the ticket template, and based on the activities or the task that is part of the ticket template, it finally creates the request. Now we can fill out all those informations and submit, and we'll have a look at one of the ticket that is or one of the service request that is basically a new hire onboarding request to see what are the different steps or how it looks like from the service desk agent point of view. Now, before we leave self-service portal, the last piece I wanted to show is the tickets view, which is technically the all the tickets that's been submitted by Emily in this case. Now here, not just the ticket title or summary, Emily can only see different status of those tickets, whether it's been fulfilled, automation running or not, resolved, in progress, all those different status, including who is working on those tickets. Is that a particular team or a particular person or a group? Whatever the situation, whoever is working, Emily can see them right from the ticket history here or my tickets view. Now we'll go back to the service desk agent view. Now let's start the dashboards first. So if I go back to the dashboard section where we started our webinar today. From there, let's just change it to the service desk agent dashboard so that we can see how it looks like this time. It's for the service desk agent. So now me being the service desk agent starting my day, this is the landing page for me. And I can see things like my active tickets, couple of different visual indicators like the flag showing me probably there is a portal comment or maybe an incoming email is there waiting for me to reply. I can see the VIP indication shows me that Alex is a VIP contact or Emily is a VIP contact, the hot account of the department indication, and also different priorities. The whole point is to make me more productive and to take the decision that what's going on, that this ticket maybe came from the VIP. I have to work on this ticket first, or this could be a priority one ticket. So all those different decisions I can take just by looking into my dashboard. On the right side, I can see my tasks. So these are the tasks that I need to fulfill while resolving all those tickets. And in most cases, the tasks are coming through different service requests rather than just an incident, because the service request has the ticket template and that ticket template brings up all those different tasks. And at the bottom of the screen, we can see tickets awaiting for assignment. So these are the tickets just came in from different users. And now if I'm the manager, I can assign them to a particular user or a person. Or if I'm the one who is responsible for working on these tickets, I can just assign them to myself and I can just start working on them. And the similar concept goes for the task awaiting for assignment. I can just assign them to myself or to a particular team or to a resolver group. Now, there is another dashboard out of the box that we have, and the purpose of showing this is just to give you guys an idea of how easy it is to configure. And it's just a platform dashboard, it's not even Power BI. But what's more important is I can see all those information that are just important for me rather than the whole team. So maybe looking into the active announcement, just an example. So these are internal, I would say, technical facing announcements for the agents or the managers where we can see if there's any outage, or maybe if there is any news, or if there's any advisory, things like that, we can see right from the active announcements. I can see all my active tickets, and even I can go to the view records to see the tickets that just requires attention. So if I click on the view records, I can see that out of probably 9 tickets, 8 of them requires attention. And I can drill down further. I can just click on that. And in that case, it's just going to show me or filter it out just those 8 tickets that requires attention. And the reason I'm showing this is, in your case it could be more than 200 plus tickets, out of which probably 5 of them requires attention or 2 of them requires attention, and it's really hard for you to just go through all of them, filter it down. So with this view you can just easily just click on that tickets that requires attention, and you can get the list of it. Now I can see all of them of course requires attention, but some of them from the VIP, some of them has a hot account indication beside the department, and some of them could be a priority one ticket. Now clearly I can see this is a ticket that I need to focus on because it's a priority one ticket. It came from a VIP named Emily, and it's basically has a flag beside it. So I will just open up that ticket and maybe just start working on that. Now, just think about this, that it just came from the end user Emily from the portal, and we're working on this ticket. So I'm the service desk agent. I just opened this up from my dashboard on my day-to-day life, and I can see this ticket has some information in there like comment received or ticket update is required. So those are all the attention reasons, the reason for that flag was appearing in the dashboard. So I can see all of them right here. Now the ticket, if we look at the ticket status here, it's showing that it's been assigned to me. I'm the owner and the team is service desk for this one, and it's a priority one ticket. Now, what's important here is the last notification is showing that ticket auto classification has completed. And that's basically an AI feature. What it does basically behind the scene, there is an autonomous agent looking into my title, some keywords like Outlook and emails, and based on that, it's picking up the service area category and subcategory. And this is really important for service desk agents like me, for example, because I'm not basically picking up all those different informations or writing them up. It's just automatically happening because of that autonomous agent working behind. Now, also, if we look at this notification here, ticket classification has completed and all those different areas that's been filled out. On the right side, we have this pane or bar, which is called productivity pane, or you can also say app site pane. What it does basically, it shows me all the activities, as in what's happening throughout the life cycle of that ticket. So if I look at here, I can see all those interactions happening back and forth with my end user, in this case Emily. I can see there are some follow-ups going on, maybe the second follow-up. All of them are part of this activities tab. If there were any attachments, I could have seen it from the attachments tab, which is showing me 0 for now because there were no attachments with this particular issue that she was having. I can see the work item. So if it is connected to any Azure or Jira integration, it's basically part of the work items, and we can see it from here as well. Now, as we're talking about the activities, if I go to this activity, for example, let's say if I click on this one, I can see that Emily commented a really long thread, which she actually tried to resolve this issue. Now, maybe I don't want to go through it all. Maybe I just want a summarization what's happening. So what we have here is the ticket brief, and rather than going by that activities, I can go to the ticket brief, and it's going to give me the summarization of what Emily tried, in this case our end user. So I don't have to like go through that entire thread. And this is another AI feature where another autonomous agent is working behind to do this last activity summarization. I can also see the last incoming post when it happened, last outgoing post, or the sentiment and all that. So in terms of the summary, I can go to the timeline and I can see all of them, even with a paragraph, or you can say different stack there, rather than just looking into all of them. Now, in terms of the guidance tab from the productivity pane, as a service desk agent, this is important for me because I can see if there's any blog, documentation, FAQ. Now, maybe I want to look into a knowledge base components. I can click on that, I can search it here, or as this is a part of the ticket classification, I can just enable classification filtering, and it's going to pick up all those different areas, and based on which I can see that there is just one knowledge base component that I can look at. So out of maybe hundreds or 200s of knowledge base components, based on the ticket classification model, it just picked up one of them. I can click on that, I can get some help from there, and simultaneously I can work on this ticket, just following those step by step resolution guide there. So that's another feature from the productivity pane that we have. Under the conversation, it's more likely when you're doing that conversation with DevOps team, your engineers, this is the bi-directional communication that's happening, right? So the DevOps team, they're resolving it, or you're having the issue from ITSM side. It's just also an out of the box features where you'll have that option for the bi-directional communication back and forth with the DevOps engineers and the ITSM people. So that's pretty much from the productivity pane. The next piece I wanted to cover is the next ticket, which I'll go really high level, which is the new hire onboarding request that we submitted. That's basically a service request. And from there, we can see this is pretty much the same form, except the ticket type is service request. But this time, if I open up the productivity pane, I can see different task, which is part of those um, uh, part of that ticket template. And also all those different tasks could be a part of different teams as well. So you can decide which team is going to do what task just using the ticket template. You don't have to necessarily like assign them later on. You can just do it from a ticket template level so that it's automatically assigned to those different groups or different teams. And let's have a look at one of the example of problem management, then we'll wrap it up. But before that, let's talk about another AI feature that we have, which is let's say the copilot. So for example, this copilot is just out of the box copilot, and we can just open it up right from the model driven app here. And I just did a prompt a couple of minutes before that, show me all the tickets that are awaiting for assignment. So things like that, or maybe show me all the tickets that I need to focus on today, or about SLA breached or anything like that. You can just ask for it. It's just natural language, and it's going to give you the reply like, okay, here are the tickets that are currently awaiting for assignment, all those tickets, the ticket details, the status of the ticket, whom it is assigned to, all that, including the copilot is going to suggest you what you can do now, whether you are going to change the priority or help you decide which one to pick up next based on the impact, all those suggestions. And these are all part of the copilot chat from the platform. So as I said, the last piece I wanted to cover in today's webinar, it's just going over an example of and problem management, so that we pretty much covered the entire problem management, including the ITSM capabilities of different ticketing management. So in this case, we have this Outlook mailbox at capacity causing email delivery failures. Let's say this is the problem management we're doing. So when we are doing a problem management, we tend to capture more information. So for example, things like maybe research or working synopsis or different analysis, we want to do that. We want to do a root cause analysis because we are getting maybe hundreds of tickets regarding email issues and all that. Now, in this particular case, if I go to the management tab, the first thing that I will notice that it has a relationship with parent-child tickets. So we can see that it is associated with a parent ticket and all the child tickets here. So in your case, it could be more than 50 plus tickets under the child tickets or 100 tickets there. And we have the child ticket processing rule. So based on the situation, you can decide what you want to do, whether you want to change the SLO of all those tickets, or if you want to close all the child tickets together, you can do it just from the child ticket processing rules. Then we have the research tab, which technically gives us some more informations like the reproduction steps, the working synopsis for this particular problem management, or maybe some research notes there. Under analysis, it's basically the workaround, or you could say the resolution workaround. I can see the resolution summary, or if there is any workaround description, the root cause summary, the risk statement, all those information we can basically capture from the analysis tab here. And the last piece I wanted to show from ticketing management, it's not just problem management, it's for all type of ticket. It's the insights tab where we can actually see what's happening. So all the status tracking, or maybe let's say the timeline insights, we can see when it was waiting for assignment and nobody was working on that. This is really important, right? To make a report out of this, or when maybe it got changed from a person to another one, the service desk agent. So things like that, or category, subcategory, anything that is happening throughout the entire life cycle of that particular ticket, we can see it from the insights tab, and that's basically audit, we could say. And you can also make a report out of this insights tab as well. So that's pretty much from the ticketing management and overview of our ITSM, ServiceTeam ITSM. I'll just pause here and just pass it over to Derek at this point. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much, Ash. That's a great demo. Just to wrap things up here, we're really interested in the attendees' feedback and discussing next steps. So if you're interested in a personal demo, a call to review the current state of your ITSM system, or having us provide costs for your organization, please reach out to us at info@provence.com. We do have a couple of questions that have come in. One is around licensing. So what is your licensing model? I can address that. ServiceTeam ITSM subscriptions are based on named users, with users being defined as personnel that are accessing ServiceTeam to participate in ITSM processes like updating or closing a ticket. The ITSM subscription includes all of the ITSM processes that we showed today, as well as change management. ServiceTeam ITAM is an optional module that's a site license based on the number of employees in your organization. It allows you to manage an unlimited number of assets. So please reach out to us if you're interested in getting specific pricing for your organization. We're happy to help with that. Another question that came in is around implementation and what some of the different implementation options are. In most cases, Provence leads the ServiceTeam implementation. We also work with system integrators, SIs, and other partners that have domain expertise around Power Platform and ITSM. Professional services are provided as a separate fee to the licensing subscription, and we work with your stakeholders to define the requirements and scope them out in detail and provide those services on a time and material basis. Implementation timeframes can vary from customer to customer, depends heavily on specific needs, complexity around automation or integration, and of course, the resource availability from the customer side. I think those are all the questions that have come in, Ash. So again, thank you very much, Ash, for the demo. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Reach out to us at info@provence.com if you'd like more information, and we look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining today.